And Amani, what's happening?
Hey, so I took your
Hey.
advice last time. After like months of dating this guy, then from going from talking every day to then like no contact for weeks, I left some things at his house, including like some things that I really cared about, like stuff for prayer. And this guy was talking about marriage and having kids and the whole thing. And as they call it, like, I just felt like he was a future faker, like somebody that would, promise all these things or talk about all these things to try to get with somebody, but then not really want to follow up and show effort and to do all the things. So I contacted him, like we talked about last time. I was up and I asked for my things back, and I even went to as far as to say like I can send you money for shipping if you want. This guy has a lot of money, so I don't know if that hurt his ego by me saying that, but I just wanted my stuff back, and I just didn't understand why he wouldn't want to, just send it. But weeks went by, and I asked him a few times, and I got to the point where I was just, I think that my ego was hurt, because I just basically told him I'm too pretty for this, like, and I just said I'm too good of a woman to be dealing with this kind of treatment, and I don't really care what you do with the things at this point, like, take care. So do you think that I could have handled it better? Because I was just really angry and upset at the time.
Yeah, well, what things were you wanting back specifically? Was it like clothes, jackets,
Yeah, it was
something
just like
minuscule?
clothes, things that I bought. Like he didn't give me anything, which, was a clear, like even flowers after months and months,
Mm,
and for somebody that, talks about himself, like, oh, I've got all of this stuff, Lamborghinis, this, and watches that, and $3 million house, and all of this stuff. Like he always was talking about himself. But when it comes to like wanting a relationship, it's like, he didn't even show me that he really cared, and
yeah,
it's about the small things for me. Like
sure.
I'd never asked him for anything, and I wanted to show him that I'm a good woman, so that's why I didn't really require much, especially because it was only like less than 6 months, about 4 or 5 months that we were talking. So I just wanted to give him some time to really show effort, but I couldn't get that far with
Hmm.
him. So I just got to the point where I kind of told him off in a way. I mean, I didn't really mean to tell him off, but I put it like this. I just said I'm too pretty to deal with this. Like I've never really dealt with this kind of thing before with men, in past relationships. I've had pretty good past relationships. So, I just wanted my stuff back at the end of the day, and he couldn't even do that. And I don't know if it's an ego thing or what it is with him, but maybe I could deal with, if I ever get into the situation again, maybe I can try to deal with it in a better way. What do you think?
So, well, okay, well, I'm still trying to figure out when you say that your stuff back, is it stuff you bought him or is it actually your stuff?
Oh, it's actually my stuff.
Ah, got you, got you.
Yeah.
Is it stuff that you feel like you could live without having?
Yeah. I can
Okay.
always buy new stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So one, I think, okay, so based off that, then I don't think I think you handled it the best. Well, let me say this. Number one, you handled it the best way you knew how. And I think that is also something to recognize, even if it's in an imperfect manner. Sometimes we can, obviously hindsight 2020, we can always look back and nitpick at things that we probably could have done better. But I do think how you handled it overall was still pretty good.
Okay.
You acknowledged like, hey, wanted to give this a chance, wanted to figure this out. You didn't really show up and put in the effort after all the big game you talked. And so, he was unwilling to ship things, send things, whatever. And so you were willing to let it go. Right.
Yeah.
I think it's very semantic if I were to say, like, you probably didn't have to say, I'm too pretty for this. But I don't think that's really an issue. Because I do think there is a level of,
Just sometimes I feel like I forget who I am. Like I try to stay humble, and I try to be sweet as possible,
yeah.
when trying to get to know somebody and get into a relationship. but I don't want somebody to treat me badly and like try to think that they can walk all over me or think that their time means more than mine, at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think you exercise that by walking away,
Yeah.
right? And so that action will always speak louder than words that you might try to come up with to convince them otherwise. And I could tell, right? It was a moment of just reflecting, like, hold up, like I know who I am, I know what I can do, I know who I can be. And on top of that, I'm a 10 out of 10 out here in these streets. So
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna sit here and settle for this kind of behavior, knowing the type of person I am and who I want to be, and more importantly, what I want in my relationship. So I think you handled that
I mean, I want to
healthily.
be the best that I can be for the right person. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And I want to give
Absolutely.
it 110%, but I can't go 110% for somebody that's giving me 10%,
There you
that's giving
go.
me less than the bare minimum. It's just, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think what you realize from this experience is that um, you can't expect gallon sized pour ins from pint capacities, right?
Right.
When you think about a gallon compared to a pint, obviously it's a massive difference. You can hold more, but you can also give more. And to be honest, it's not to say that he could not have given more. It's not to say he could not have given and shown up better. We just realized that for the wrong people, we realize end up having to force them to give something that either they don't want to give or they don't have capacity to give.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, honestly, what's the healthier decision is to recognize that and walk away. And
Yeah.
it sounds like you did that and you honored that.
I mean, some of
And
his family members too, like
mhm,
just to add, they like some of the girls are really known like bad girls. They call themselves influencers, but they actually do a lot of bad things and expect a lot from men, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
Birkin bags and the whole thing. And I was just asking for my stuff back, like
Mhm.
I never asked him for anything. So I just felt like, wow, like, your family members are doing all of this stuff and you talk so much about how you don't like women that are like that, and I'm sitting over here and I'm expecting the bare minimum and you can't even give me that,
Yeah.
so that really hurt.
Yeah. Where do you feel like you are with everything now?
I just feel
Mentioning
like I deserve better.
mm,
That's where I'm at with it, and I don't want to like be bitter or carry this type of energy into the next relationship because I know everybody's different. But I definitely don't want to be in this type of predicament again.
yeah, I definitely feel that. Can I offer you so I actually have like certain systems and different programs, even to this extent, that actually will help you not to repeat it again. But more importantly, to actually like let it go. Do I have permission to send that to you?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I would love to send that to you. It's a document. You'll kind of see all that it looks like, and what's
Thank you.
necessary for you to get into that. It's like a whole kit bundle that I kind of put together for a really low price too. That I would love for you to have. But I think managing the opportunity, I'll say this much, putting yourself in position to where this isn't something that you experience again in the future, um, is going to start with obviously being in a place where you can emotionally and mentally let this experience go from a healthy lens. Because there was a lot that you wanted out of it, you invested into it. And the truth is, when we are people who want to experience healthy love, and you hear the term all the time, lover boy, lover girl, all that kind of stuff. Um, the people who are legitimately walking like that, it takes a lot
Yeah, I
from
mean, I
them.
just want to be like a good woman to a
Yeah,
good man, and I want to give as much, I want to pour into somebody as much as they're pouring into me. And,
there you go.
there's a lot of women that are online, like somebody mentioned in the comments, this Shira girl that speaks about, expecting all of this stuff from men and not having a healthy relationship and a healthy love with somebody. And I don't believe in that. I do believe that, you can work and build with somebody in the right way and love them for all the right reasons.
And I want you to keep that. I want you to keep that. I want you to honor that heart that you're carrying towards it, because that's healthy.
Thank you.
And it makes a massive difference for the right person who not only shows they have the capacity to receive what you're giving, but out of genuine love, because of what you're giving, wants to respond and will respond healthily um, to what you give and who you are. And it'll be something that actually creates a form of stability for you. I can tell by your, I'm listening to you, of course. Your heart gesture is in such a beautiful place. And it is something to treasure and to honor and to continue building on. And we don't want this experience to be what gets the privilege of defining what's available for you, um, and who ultimately you have permission and the ability to be for the right person.
Yeah.
And we're going to get you straight in that direction with the document I'll send you and what
Thank you.
really, really is available for you to move on from there. Um, One last thing. Well, first off, is there any other questions?
Oh
Do you
no.
feel like that was helpful?
Yeah, that definitely was helpful.
Yeah, okay. And I want you to keep this with you too. Last thing I'll say, and then I'll get to the very last thing. So one that the statement and then the very last thing. I've said it all the time here. Rejection is either about preference or preparation, right? They either prefer something different than you or they're not prepared for you. And I think a key difference in knowing if they're prepared for you or if they just don't prefer you is when you, well, I think a mixture of both. Let me not say one or the other, but I think it could be a mixture of both, but it doesn't really reflect who you are or who you are not, right? Based off of how they respond. But I think a good indication of potential both is when you show up as authentically as you can be, loving as consistently as you can be, and the response that you're getting isn't something that's flowing from abundance. It's really coming from a place of lack based off of how the other person is responding, right? They're not responding at all, stalemate, stagnant, um, constantly in places of confusion or leaving you in confusion. And I think that's always a good indicator, especially when you're moving authentically, that you did what you knew how to do and you did it healthily. And their response is just saying to you where they're at, not who you are not.
Yeah.
And I want you to keep that with you as you're moving forward. I would love, okay, I know you've been a part of these lives and things like that. You heard the whole rant in the beginning. I would love a testimonial from you. I would love
Thank you.
to just listen to exactly how you feel like these sessions and things like that have been helpful for you, live or just what you've learned from the content. Send me a video. Send me a video. And if I can get your commitment to that, I'll actually give out a discounted session to someone in the chat. Um, and so let me see what code I want to put that on. Um, if anyone puts testimonial in the chat, they'll actually get a free sponsored session based on your testimonial that you'll send. Can I get your commitment?
Okay. Yeah, I think I will be able to do that.
Hey, let's go. All right. So if anybody who types testimonial in the chat, what you'll get is a sponsored session. Obviously, everybody who gets that, you're available for that sponsor session. I'll do a whole raffle, and by the end of the call, we'll figure out who gets it. All right. So I'm excited. Let's do it, and I'll send you this message here after this live.
Okay. Yeah, the document.
Yeah, I'll send the document. You'll get that, and in the meantime, I'm looking forward to hearing your testimonial.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. I appreciate your time. Take it easy.
Yeah, you too.
Hey man, put a one in the chat for Amani. We've been having conversations over the last few weeks now. She's been processing this. I think she's handling it really, really well. And it makes a difference. Makes a difference. Especially again, when you have somebody on your side, man, who's able to see some things from some different advantage points and perspectives to help you walk through some of the muddy waters of dating. I think dating becomes a lot more healthier and a lot easier to manage and to deal with. Okay. And so, hey, everybody who puts testimonial in the comment section is going to be able to enter my little raffle here. And winner will get a sponsored session. Thanks to Amani